And welcome back to the Market Wolf. I am the Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and my opinion. And boy, was it a crazy day today in the market. I told you what was going to happen. I told you we had to drop. I called it point to point. I told you we had to put in a double bottom at the 38509. Not only did we put in that double bottom, but then the full bear case began to play out. Everything up to this point made sense. Everything up until the little bear pennant that we put on here made sense. As we were essentially putting on what seemed to be an M-top reversal on very terrible volume that should have just fallen through, that made sense. This, not so much. You could say that we were coming up to back test the 38509 since we fell through so fast. But I would have expected, with all of the bearishness in the market, that to be a rejection. Yet, we get about 651,000 coming in here, and then 1.2 million coming in here. So we had just over 2 million coming in an hour on what turned into a W reversal, which at first looked like an M-top reversal and wasn't particularly bullish. Volume wasn't great. There was a hammer candle, but really you would have expected this to get rejected and roll over based on all of the data that was coming in. And so that's odd. And I want to show you why that's odd, because if you look at the Fear and Greed Index for today, it is really, really close to zero. We are in a climate of extreme fear right now. That's the 125-day moving average, right? Extreme fear. So you're telling me that in a climate of extreme fear, and I mean, you look at what's coming up, nobody is going to be speaking on Monday. When you look at the calendar, they've got nothing scheduled, right? And then we've got new home sales coming out on Tuesday, which that's interesting because now the home market, from my hearing, is starting to get hit a little bit. So it's interesting that's coming up on Tuesday. But really, this move up with that kind of fear and greed on the Fear and Greed Index, that kind of fear, that I question. I think this could be a combination of two things. I want to show you first, again, Apple has been driving the market. I think a lot of that came in on Apple. As a matter of fact, I believe the amount of volume that came in on Apple was just over 1 million. So that's pretty incredible. And my thought is it just has to be partially maybe people that don't believe the market is dead. I have seen that sentiment where I've seen in the comment section on Webull, I saw somebody today say, wow, this is really unbelievable. I guess this really is going to be bad. Well, yes, this is really going to be bad. And the funny thing is, we were in true bear market territory briefly, and now this just pulls us right out of it, because look at what happened on Apple. You know, similar formation. You've got just over 1 million coming in on volume, which, you know, I think that can be a lot of FOMO. This is a lot of emotion, right? Everybody wants to get in because it's Apple, and Apple's not really going down, right? I mean, it couldn't go any lower, right? I think there's a lot of people out there that think like that, but I think we also have to take into consideration the plunge protection team. That's something we have to always be considering. Please go back and watch that episode on the plunge protection team. I'll be sure to put it in the video at the end of this video that you can click on that and go right to it. So we had about, we had a lower amount come in Tesla. It wasn't Tesla driving things so much. It was mostly Apple. About a quarter of this, not even a quarter, came in on Tesla, maybe an eighth. But in any case, I'm not sure where else this was spread out. But the point is, it came in, It's strange because we've already spent a lot of time up in this territory. You're telling me we spent this many days here on terrible volume just to come back to that area again because everybody thought it was great? I don't know. Maybe. But again, it just seems like something's not quite right. So let's go over the bear, the bull case, and my thoughts on what I think is going to play out Monday. So first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and bring us back to the 30-minute here. On the 30-minute, we're above the 20, but we still have the bearish divergence that we're dealing with here. And let's take a look at the 2-hour. On the 2-hour, you can see that we had basically increasing volume the entire day, which really should have, if we wanted this to be a nice curve, should have gone to a maximum amount, maybe perhaps right here, and then we would have tapered down at the end of the day. And maybe we would have had a green candle towards the end of the day, right? But that's not what we saw. We know why. Very odd, right, with the momentum too. Just kind of very sudden, boom. So, still very bearish on the 2-hour. We're still below all of the EMAs. We're not really so underbought. I mean, we're hanging about average. We might be getting a bounce up and a turnaround on momentum, but the truth is that really going to hold up? I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I'd be surprised to see more upside here, even though this is very strong. We've seen this once before in the past, where we saw a lot of strong upside, and then we ended up gapping down. I suspect we could, even off this strength, we could gap down again. And so let's go back to the 30-minute. And I think what we will likely see is something like this. And this could be the bullish case that would enable you to complete this cup and perhaps go up from there. It's a possibility, right? Because then what that basically turns this into is a big W reversal, essentially, if you were to look at it on another time frame. So that's a possibility for a bull case. I would stick, you could possibly, I think the bear case, you may see something a little bit different play out. You may see like a gap up, and then an immediate turnaround. And do we go into discovery after that? Could we get a bounce there, or do we just break down finally, and does the market finally just break down? If they're holding us up here, I'd be surprised if they let it fall through Monday. So let's change that color right now. So this will be our bear case. This will be our bull case. And I think, really, I don't see how. I really almost have to ignore this even happened. And I have to pay attention to all the other bearish indicators we've had. And we've got to think about the plunge protection team, and we got to think about the FOMO boys, where their mindset hasn't changed and they're buying every dip. I think it's a combination of those two things right here. So I think it's possible you could see something like this play out, where actually the beginning of this case right here, the bull case, happens, but then you don't get a completed cup at this point, but you get a rejection down from there, and then maybe this case plays out at that point, where we come back here and we finally put in a new double bottom. That, I think, would make a lot of sense to me. Now, you could come up here still and then roll over instead of just going up, right? That's basically my point. So this could actually be, this could be right here, for instance, right? And then you go through those same motions, basically, to head to the downside again. So we've already been up here in this accumulation zone. I don't see us staying there. I think we break down. I think we put in a new double bottom for sure, and we see if that cracks through or not, or if we actually end up trying to hit an accumulation zone here now between these two channels. That's a possibility, but again, it really seems like the market is really hanging on by a thread at this point. And this right here, again, anomalous. And we've had other anomalous days like that. That just so happens to be one of the biggest anomalies that I've seen. And I'm not sure that with the fear and the greed index looking the way it is, that if even retail mostly is buying this story anymore. So that's the bear case. That's the bull case. That's my opinion. Pay attention on Monday because nothing's scheduled. Right? And then definitely pay attention Tuesday as we're getting into the S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing PMI and the new home sale. Most definitely keep an eye on that. This has been the Market Wolf. Please hit like, please subscribe, and please share this if you like the content. I'd be very grateful. We'll see you next time. Remember, you're a part of the pack here at the Market Wolf.